Hey, what's up, my friends? So, welcome back to November's price action analysis. So, as you know, right, for the month of November, the highlight is not COVID, it's the presidential election, and the results are out, right? Joe Biden has won the election, and right now, Trump is trying to, fight his way to recounting the votes and stuff like that. But I don't believe that will make any impact on the results. I pretty much think it's finalized, and Joe Biden will be the next U.S. president. So let's have a look at the stock markets, right, and see what that has done. So as you can see, right, over here on this chart at the kind of like near the right hand side, this portion was during the election week. So you can see that the market slipped off a little bit just before the election day. Then when the results come out, we have this nice upward rally. So before we talk about that move, right, and how you could have captured a swing up higher, I want you to take a look at the big picture of the S&P 500. If you look at let's say the big picture like the weekly time frame, this market is still in an uptrend. There's no reason to be bearish on the S&P 500, right? You can see that the overall market, right, since 2009, right, where the market bottomed from the 0809 financial crisis, it has been in a long-term uptrend. Yes, this year we had a massive scare, right, of a collapse of 30% within a short period of time over here, all right, and the market pretty much bottomed out in March and then rebound higher. So generally, I would say, stock markets, I'm still long-term bullish on the US stock markets, and not just the US stock markets. If you look at somewhere in Asia like China A50, which is this one over here, can see over here, right? I just zoom out a little bit. This is the weekly time frame. It's still in an uptrend. If you look at India, right, over here, the Nifty 50, this market's still in an uptrend. So generally, I'll say US stock markets around the world, they are in an uptrend, and you should be looking for buying opportunities. So now back to my question earlier, how could you have captured this upward swing up higher? So I'm not sure if you recall, right, but sometime back I published a video which is this one over here. Right, it's something like this simple trading strategy has an 88.89% winning rate, and in that video I share a simple concept, right, on how you can actually time, right, the stock markets. And the concept lies on the fact that the stock market is a mean reverting market, and if you haven't watched that video, right, do so after you watch this video, right? Don't watch it now. Do so later. And that video pretty much shares, right, how the stock market is a mean reverting market. Whenever there's a pullback, the pullback tends to end, right, and then continue the long-term uptrend. So as you can see over here, this pullback, right? There are some traders who might think, oh man, this is going to be, the end of the bull market. Look at, this possible double top pattern over here. Look at how bearish this candle is, right? It's time to sell the market, sell everything, sell my house, sell my stock, sell my wife and kids, and hold on to cash. But statistically, right, it has shown, right, that the stock markets, usually when there's a pullback, it tends to rebound higher from that. And one thing I shared is that if the 10-period RSI is below 10, right, that's where, there's a good chance of the market rebounding higher. So if you just pull out your RSI indicator, actually I already have it over here. You can see over here, this is a 10-period RSI, right? I actually share all this in the video, which is in this video here. So after this video, you can just go down to this video here and click on this video and watch it to learn more about the rules, the concept, the system, etc. But do it later. So what I mentioned is that whenever the stock market, right, the 10-period RSI goes below 30, at this point it's currently about, at this point is about 27.38, the RSI. How do I know that? Because you can see at the rightmost side of the RSI, this figure here, okay, it's currently about 27.38. So 10-period RSI is below 30. So this means, right, there's a good chance that the stock market is about to rally higher. So true enough, right, this market did rally higher from there. Again, this is not a complete trading system on its own, right? I'm not going to cover all this in this video again. If you want to learn more, I've shared with you that video earlier. But that should signal to you that, you shouldn't be looking to short the stock market, but rather to so-called be aware that the pullback might end, right, and the trend is about to resume and continue higher. So whenever the S&P 500, the 10-period RSI is below 30, that's kind of like a signal, right, to look for buying opportunities. So right now, where else can we look for buying opportunities? So if you look at the stock market right now, the price is now at this area of resistance, and I'm not interested to buy smack in front of this area of resistance. We have a very nice strong price rejection on this candle wick over here. So short-term wise, we could possibly see some weakness. Maybe the market could swing down back lower towards this area of support. So in terms of opportunities, the stock market, I would say around the 3300 area, this area of support, right, is where you want to look for potential buying opportunities. If you are looking to trade the index somewhere about here, okay, looking for buying opportunities. This is also where the price coincides with the 200 MA, right, which serves as a pretty nice confluence area as well. Okay, so that's for the stock market. Later on, I'll share with you a particular stock that I'm looking at as well. But for now, generally, the stock market still bullish on this. So next one, right? Let's have a look at cryptocurrency, right? This is another market that has captured the attention of traders because it broke above 15,000, and there's a good chance, if you ask me, it could retest back this highs over here at 20,000. Right? What's there to stop it? Okay, so this is a very sentiment-driven market, and if you look at the price action of it right now, if you look at the price structure, no reason to be bearish on this market. The market is making a series of high highs and higher lows. If you just see right now, this market is in a strong uptrend, right, above the 20 MA. So now the question is, where do we buy? Do we enter the market right now? So let me share with you my thoughts on it, right? So if you were to buy right now at this price point, right, there's no price structure where you can lean against to set a reasonable stop loss, okay? And also, to me, there's a kind of like chasing the market. So let me share with you a couple of scenarios that I want to see on Bitcoin, right, before I look to buy. So first scenario is this, right? You know that this market is in a long-term uptrend. And on this time frame, right, it's you might not be seeing any opportunities as of right now. But what you can do is go down to a lower time frame, like the 4-hour time frame, and you see now things are different because now you can identify this swing low over here and this swing high. So what could possibly happen is the market could swing down lower, retest this swing low, then it reverse back up higher above this swing low and close bullishly above it. What you can then do is go long on the next candle open. Stop loss, right? You can set it 1 ATR below these lows. Possible target you can look to take before this swing high or resistance, right? And if you want to, ride the upward momentum, you can look to take partial profits at this swing high, and then ride the remaining half, right? If the market can break out higher. So that's the first scenario I'm looking at. Second scenario is this: is that what if the market doesn't come and retest this swing low? Because there's a good chance the market won't retest that swing low. So what now? So what else I'll be looking at is on a daily time frame. I want to see the market consolidate to kind of like store potential energy for the next wave higher. So if you look at Bitcoin, it's a very, very technical driven market where it really respects technical analysis. So if I just go up to the weekly time frame, or if you can even see it on a daily time frame, like let's see on a daily time frame, you can see that this market is all about storing potential energy and then releasing it, storing potential energy and then releasing it. So what do I mean by storing potential energy? So this occurs when the volatility of Bitcoin markets shrink, right? This is a sign to you that the market is about to make a move. So you can see over here, just before the breakout, volatility shrank, right, considerably over here. Look at the range of the candles getting smaller and smaller. Same for here, right? Volatility shrank, then it break out. Shrink a little bit here before it hits up higher again. Shrinks a little bit before it makes a move down lower. So what I'm looking to see on Bitcoin is for volatility to contract, to shrink. And I'm going to let the 20 period moving average be my guide. Okay, so right now what I want to see is for the 20 MA to catch up with the price of Bitcoin. Means the price of Bitcoin has to at least retest the 20 MA to consolidate. So for it to retest the 20 MA, it has to make a pullback, consolidate, form somewhat of a bull flag pattern, a pennant, right, before it can this will be a sign to me that it's storing potential energy for the next move higher. Okay, so I want to see a volatility contraction pattern on Bitcoin. Can be the form of a bull flag pattern, for example. I want the 20 MA to catch up with the price, right, for the price to touch the 20 MA. When that happens, right, then I'll be more inclined to buy the breakout of Bitcoin above these highs. So let's say the price does retest the 20 MA. At this point, I'm perfectly fine placing a buy stop order just above these highs and to buy the breakout if Bitcoin can trade above the swing high. Okay, as for stop loss, you can just set it 1 ATR below the most recent swing low like here, or below the 20 MA. And then again, if you want to ride the next wave up higher, you can trail your stop loss using the 20 MA. You can use a ATR indicator to trail your stop loss and see how far the next upward movement can go. So that's for Bitcoin. Next one, okay, let's have a look at the FX market. New Zealand dollar. Again, you can see that over here, right? The theme here is similar. The setups that I'm sharing, they're all pretty much trending markets, and New Zealand dollar is no exception. You can see that this is the area of resistance. Price recently broke above it. So again, now the question is, price is in an uptrend, right? I know that, Rayner, but where do I buy? Good question. So at this point, right, let me ask you, do you want to be buying at this price, at this highs over here? And some might say yes, some might say no. Okay, so for me personally, I would say I'll go with no, because there's just no, I would say from a risk to reward standpoint, I don't see anything attractive. Because if I were to buy right now at bare minimum, right, my stop loss has to go below this price structure. I would say somewhere about here. So this is a pretty darn wide stop loss over here. Okay, so what I would rather do is to let the price come to me. So you've identified that this is an area of value where previous resistance could become support. So if you go down to a lower time frame like the 4-hour time frame or the 8-hour time frame, whichever, right, this is the same area of value that you have seen earlier. Okay, so looking for the price to come down, retest this swing low, reject, close strongly back above it, then you can go long on the next candle open. Stop loss now again, let's say below this price structure, 1 ATR below this swing low, somewhere here. Now your stop loss, right, is much tighter, much smaller. And from a risk to reward standpoint, let's say from here to here, you can now have a potential target, let's say at this swing high. And this would be a potential reward, right? Let's call it reward, RE. And over here is your risk, your stop loss, RI. So from a risk to reward standpoint, right, you can see it's now much more attractive, right? I would say like a 1 to 1.5 from the looks of this chart. Okay, so this is how I would rather be patient and let New Zealand dollar, the price point, to retrace towards an area of value. Yes, I know the price is in an uptrend, but just because it's in an uptrend doesn't mean that you have to buy immediately, right? You can always be patient and let the market come to you and offer you a much more attractive risk to reward on the trade. Okay, and one last thing as promised, right? I want to share with you one particular stock that I'm looking. Peloton. Okay, so if you look at this chart, right, this market, just zoom out a little bit, right, you can see that it's still in an overall uptrend, this market. Okay, and if you just pull out the 50 MA, I would say somewhat in a healthy uptrend, has been consistently above the 50 MA, but recently pretty much break below it. But that aside, right, I'm still bullish on this because you can see over here, right, market did retrace down lower into this previous swing high that could become support. Right, on top of it, right, it has a couple of price rejection over here, this over here on this red candle, and then the most recent one yesterday where it formed somewhat of a bullish hammer. So I'm bullish on Peloton because to me the uptrend is still intact. It's at this area of value, right, which is at the previous swing high that could become support around the 50 period moving average area as well. So that serves as a nice confluence. So looking to buy on the next candle open, right, first possible target, right, at around the $130 price point, right, to capture another swing up higher on Peloton. All right, and of course if you want to ride the next wave up higher, you can again ride the trend by trailing your stop loss or taking partial profits at this swing high, and to have the remaining, let's say, half of your position to ride the next wave up higher. Okay, so definitely worth keeping a lookout for Peloton.
Now, if you've enjoyed the market analysis, right, then I want to welcome you to join Pro Trader Sage, right? This is my premium membership, right, where you will get such market analysis every single week, right? I usually publish these type of videos on a weekend to share with you my insights of the market, the trading opportunities I'm looking at, the trades I took, and much more. So that's not all, right? Because as a Pro Trader Sage member, you get many benefits that come along with it. So for example, you have access to the backtest research lab. So this is a lab, right, where I pretty much backtest the financial markets to tell you what works and what don't in the financial markets. So we have different stuff going on. We have, things that talk about stock markets, quantitative trading, and much more. So all this over here in the backtest research lab, and I regularly, add in new lessons, new findings that I have in the financial markets. Then also we have the weekly trade alerts. This is basically, right, the video that you have seen earlier, but it's on a weekly basis. So every single week I publish such videos, right? So you can see my analysis, my thought process, the trades I took, and you can, shorten your learning curve and quickly, level up your trading. So you can see that, every week we publish a new video on the markets. We have a premium trading strategy guides. This is for you, right? Especially if you enjoy reading my blog posts and you want a PDF version of it. So every month we upload new PDF trading strategy guides. It's free for you to download. You can just click on it, right, and you will be brought to a PDF link, a PDF page to download it. We have a exclusive training webinars for you to help you, level up your trading, learn new trading strategies and techniques. Okay, these are exclusive webinars that you will not find elsewhere. Then we have, trading books and investing books that I recommend. Trading checklist, right? So before you put on a trade, you can, download this checklist to review it, right? To make sure that, you're on the right side, on the right page, right? And not doing anything funny or silly, right? We have the proprietary trading indicators vault. This is for MT4 users. You can download all these indicators to, help you with your own trading. Like, the MACD, MT4, there's some issue with it. We have fixed it over here. We have the Donchen channel, a news reporter that alerts to you, potential, important news that's coming up, and much more. It's all over here in the indicator vault. And also we have the simple mean reversion trading strategy that you'll learn, right, to trade the market. So this is a very simple strategy for you to get started, especially if you do not know which strategy to go with. Start with this simple mean reversion trading strategy, because it is back tested, right, to identify first and foremost which markets tend to mean revert, which markets have a mean reverting characteristics, right. Then I explained to you, right, the setup to trade this type of mean reverting markets, right. So you really have the odds in your favor, right, applying the right trading setup in the right type of market condition. Okay, so this is a mean reverting trading strategy that anyone can learn, right, even if you have no trading experience. So this is what you'll get, right, as a Pro Traders Edge member, right. New content are updated regularly for the Backtest Research Lab, weekly trade alerts, premium strategy guides, and much more, right. So I'll put the link below so you can check out Pro Traders Edge. And with that said, right, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon.